Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to Backstop Built. I am Coach Brock, and today I am going to be interviewing one of the players I just finished working with for the past 6 months. And this is a player who's going to speak to any of you guys that are absolute brainiacs out there that also want to play college baseball, have big baseball goals, but also take school very, very serious and knowing how to balance that. So I'm really excited to show you the process of how this kid was able to make that happen and earn a scholarship to the next level, to the college level, at a school that aligns with where he wants to go with his career academically after that. So without further ado, let's hear from him.
Hello there. I'm Alessandro Sanchez. I'm from Madison, Wisconsin. I'm a senior in high school, and I just got done with training with Brock. It was awesome. It was great. And I just got committed to play college baseball at UW platform.
Dude, let's go. How good does that feel to say?
Good.
I'm so proud of you, man. I think that's awesome. And again, the biggest thing I want to do here today is speak to the players who take school really serious like you do, who are going to have some awesome careers that require certain very specific college degrees, right? That kind of it gets sticky with the recruitment process with where you go for baseball because baseball is still a huge priority for you. So can't wait to tell your story today, man. Let's start here, dude. Before you got working with me a little over 6 months ago, where were you in your baseball career?
So about 6 months ago, I was lost. I was an okay catcher, not great. I was struggling a lot to like move forward on that elite level as a catcher, especially with receiving, blocking, and transferring. Especially with my throwdowns, that was probably the biggest outlier from all the rest of these good catchers. I couldn't like really receive pitches that were like above like 82, 83 without like freaking out and like in my mind like, oh my god, I can't catch this. I don't know how to do this. But with this training since like September, I've gone so much better and I'm really happy about it.
Yeah, dude, 100%. And that's my favorite thing about you is just how serious you took it, along with balancing that school, that academic balance with athletics. Not easy for a guy who is in the classes you're taking. What were you struggling with before we were working together the most?
The most I was struggling with was probably my receiving and my pop times. During the summer, I had this camp that was catching a lot of like high elite pitchers, and I kind of gave me like a reality check of like what I needed to improve on and receiving, which is like a good portion of a catcher's job. Um, is something I needed to really work on, and also like my pop times. So, and if I know that on my team I have pitchers that are throwing high velocity, I needed to be prepared and mentally ready for that, especially coming to this new season.
Absolutely, dude. And kind of run us through just super quickly, like your high school journey and what team you made each year of high school.
So, freshman year, I made JV2 team, which is just the freshman team. And then my sophomore year, I was on the JV1 team. I got a lot of opportunities to play on the varsity level. Especially, I got to play, I think, probably like 5, maybe to 8 games, if I count the playoffs. Yeah, I'm not counting the playoffs, but I had a good portion of that was, like, preparing me to catch at that high level, and then junior year, I split half and half, with this other catcher, he was a senior, and then this year, I'm gonna be the ultimate, just the catcher in that position, and I'll just be fully catching throughout the whole season.
Yeah, absolutely, dude. And that's awesome. That is a great journey. You definitely climbed your way up. And I guess like when you had those struggles with your catching, even though it sounds like you had some varsity time at your program since you were at a young age, which is great. But I guess like how realistic did college baseball feel it was for you?
Well, freshman year, I was like, "Oh, I know I'm gonna get committed. I know I'm gonna get committed." But then I was realizing that like with the camps that I took, with the people who have been committed to these colleges to play baseball, I realized that like I needed to get more work done, and especially like not being capable of throwing out runners or getting critical pitches on my critical counts. That really like gave me a new perspective of what I needed to improve on. With your help and with the drills that you gave me, I was really thankful for that.
Awesome, dude. Yeah. And real quick, like, just tell me, or just anyone watching us, like, why did you finally decide to get into the program at the time you did in your career?
I would honestly wish I could have joined beforehand, but I wasn't truly trying to find a new goal, which my goal was just to be the best catcher I could possibly be for this new season and try to play at a college level. I found you on Instagram. I was just like looking around, investigating some help, just some kind of help, just to like guide me to get better, to get someone who is willing to help me to reach that goal of playing at a college level.
Could you not find that beforehand? Like, was there any, like, catching development that you tried before, or were you just kinda doing things on your own and then finally realized, like, "Hey, I need some real structure?"
I was doing a lot of my stuff on my own, a lot of training like in my room or outside, or having my brother help me train. And I was just looking around, just like somebody just to like help me throw the ball or just to play catch or just to block a little bit. But then I finally got to you. And then even at my team, we don't even have a catching coach, unfortunately. But we just got a new one, so I'm really happy about that. But beforehand, I was just like lost. I didn't have really much like experience, especially catching at that high level. But with the club team that I played for, GRB, they were great. It was a good way for me to put my feet into this world, into this big pond of like catching, and it was helpful, but not enough. It's not
Sure.
enough.
Yeah. So now let's kind of talk because there's a kid out there watching this probably like, okay, well, how did Alessandro get started and like actually get in the program? So you realize like, hey, there's some things in my skills that are not where I want them to be. I want to be prepared before this big senior year. I want to get committed. So I guess exactly if you remember, what was the process like reaching out to me and like getting in the program?
So I was literally on Instagram, and I was just like, I really wanted to like invest this year on getting better at catching. So I went to find some like kind of catching coaches, and I I found you honestly, and then I looked at some other catching coaches and their programming, and they weren't as like well rounded as your program was. I was really happy that you had like a huge investment in blocking, receiving, transferring, and that you also posted that on your social media platforms. And I was really happy about that. And I got drawn, and I was like, "Ooh, I need to get in there."
That kind of leads me into the next statement of like now you're in the program, we start working together, okay? And then I wanted to talk about like what were some of the things we worked on inside the program together that made the biggest impact for you in pretty much all categories.
Being capable of like sending this video of me to get like feedback. The feedback was probably the biggest, and the um like the resources from just so many catchers on the community build. But it was also the drills that you had made me do, even if I didn't have like a machine back home. Being able to do those drills consistently on a daily basis was very helpful.
Yeah. What would you say your favorite part of the program was out of our four pillars from the daily plan, the evaluation, the community, and then like the one-on-one messaging?
Probably from the programming that you had was probably the first one, which is blocking. It made me feel that I was an athletic, good catcher, especially like on like specific drills like what was it? Flipping the glove, making sure like I could like lead with the glove, which I was really happy about. And then like centering the ball to your belly. I really like that, and like being a pillow. And then some of the key like visualizations, like imagining, closing my eyes and like imagining this happening was like a big deal because I haven't actually practiced that very much. So you suggesting that really helped a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I want to dive into each category real quick. We're going to talk about where you were before, the adjustments we made, and where you are now in each category. Let's start with blocking.
Okay, with blocking, I initially was a two-knee stance guy, so or just a one knee down stance, and I only practiced with that stance. So I'm with the programming with you, working with you, you taught me how to work with all three stances and learning the perspective of like in what moments would I be able to use that stance for, how to help my pitchers and the benefit of getting more strikes or throwing out more players, or deciding on my view of like where are these runners at It was also like being comfortable like blocking with just the chest and leading with the glove and then like having a system, a mental system and a plan before like making this block or making throwing out a runner or making a play at the plate.
And then what's the results now like you feel when blocking?
I feel amazing now. Like literally yesterday I was catching a guy who was throwing like 89, 88, and like curveballs are like almost averaging 80 now, and I felt really comfortable. I felt like I could do this all day, honestly. And especially with the blocking and receiving, I felt like I could get more strikes out of the zone, like a ball off the maybe like two or three balls off the plate. Felt really good. And blocking just felt like an easy job almost.
Yeah, dude, 100%. Let's go to receiving. What did your receiving look like in game before working with me? And then what did we work on exactly? And then what does receiving look like in game now?
Beforehand, my receiving was like a 2 point. It was like in a B to A kind of situation. So I'd like catch the ball, catch it, and then bring it up instead of like fully catching the ball and like being having a rhythm with my glove load and receiving the ball on certain pitches. Now with the training that you made me do, especially with the band work that you had me do and some of like the weighted stuff, weighted balls were really helpful. Now is just I feel great. Just like staying under the ball was really hard, but with the banded work and with the consistency on doing this on a daily basis was really helpful. I feel great.
Then now, like when you go do your receiving work and then going into this season, what would you say the results are there?
I think the results will be there. I think I will get more pitches, we'll get more strikes into the zone and like and seen as if it's in the zone. And I think we're gonna win more baseball games, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely. People don't realize, dude, depending on how many strikes you steal for your team is a huge correlation
Hmm.
to your win-loss overall record. Like, that's amazing, and I love where your receiving is right now. I absolutely love it. It's awesome. It's a lot of inconsistency in the beginning,
Uh-huh.
and that looks good. Blocking, very, very similar. A lot of discomfort in the beginning. Now it's awesome to see you smothering the ball. All right, last one is throwing, dude. Go where you were before, adjustments we made, and then where you are now. Throwing's fun. We have the pop time metric, so kind of talk about that.
So initially, I was averaging for my pop time was like a 2.2, maybe like a 2.15. But with like specific drills that we were doing was just fixing up some of like my patterns, some of the bad patterns I had, which was catching the ball. Instead of like reaching out to go catch the ball, I was mainly focusing mentally as well, catching the ball as deep as possible, back to the chest. And like my hand positioning and like working on that like kind of rhythm towards that ball, creating that rhythm as the ball's like come into your chest. Mentally, I got my pop time, like the pop time down significantly, which was to like a 195 and like averaging below that too. And I was so, like, I want to say relieved, but like so happy that I was actually got below a 2.0. And also some of like the throwing as well that was like not just like so linear as well. I could work like rotational work with like different situations either like on bump plays or on first and thirds or stuff like that.
Hypes me up so much, bro. I love it. I absolutely love it because those numbers are amazing. More importantly, the mechanics are amazing compared to where they were. And now it's like, dude, just go have fun your senior year, knowing you're a high level catcher, but your skills are now at the level of being a college catcher, which excites me for you. And I can't wait for that to carry your journey, dude. So, last one is the confidence category. Just talk about the confidence as a catcher overall before working together and kind of what it's like now.
So my confidence beforehand was really just on the basis of like my how well I received, how well I was leading my team, how well I was blocking the baseball or throwing down. Working with you really built that trust within myself as a player and how other players can look at me and they can say, I trust that player. I trust him that he can block that baseball or receive that pitch or throw that runner out. And I found that like very inspiring as well. I felt that with this programming, you could really build a good athlete to believe in themselves to work hard and to trust them on the field and especially off the field as well, like academically. Just like putting that discipline and that hard work will get you that results into that consistency that you want into those goals that you want.
Dude, you couldn't have said it better. And I'm so glad that you touched on that because there's a kid watching this right now who needed to hear that. So that's awesome to hear from your perspective. Let's get into your unique story because we've gone over all the results you've gotten catching, and I'm so proud of you, man. And obviously, it's no doubt why you're going to be playing college baseball at a school that aligns with what you want to do as a career. So talk about your academics, what you're striving for as a career, and then I'll ask you a few questions about how this was able to coincide with how big of a brainiac and serious student you are.
I've taken about like six APs, and it was definitely heavy this year as well. I've taken on about three, and I'm looking forward to be a mechanical engineer. My major would be a mechanical engineer at UW Plattsville, and the difficulty of like putting in the hours, as especially for math or physics or chemistry, was definitely difficult, and understanding those concepts. And like it was this is like correlation to baseball is like studying every day. And so then with baseball, I would like have to like work very hard on my body and like on the receiving or the blocking or the cat or the receiving of these high level pitchers, which was a little stressing, but balancing both of them was difficult and finding time management was a struggle as well. But with the help of like creating lists, Google Calendar schedule and stuff was like very helpful. And like finding times to train was difficult as well. Organizing my time.
So you're an absolute brainiac. Take school very serious. I know we've talked about that, but baseball's a huge priority. So like for you, it's one of those where like you had to look up like schools that have what you want for your major, and then hopefully they have a baseball team that also can kind of align with your goals as a player. And that's why I'm excited for, like, you seem very excited with where you're going and that's all worked out. So, dude, I love that. And I mean, you grinded throughout the program the last 6 months doing this as someone who has so many academic commitments. And for any kid watching this, just know there's no excuses because if Alessandro was able to just do it and get the results he did, then you should be too, unless you're taking a heavier load than he is right now. But yeah, I mean, I guess I just kind of wanted to hear just real quick, like what it was like inside the program for you on a day-to-day basis and how you felt like you were able to still manage your time through such a busy schedule.
So every morning, probably around 9 a.m., you would send the drills, and I would always get the notification, and I'd always be like, "Ooh, it's gonna be a tough day," especially like with if I had tests to study for that I felt very unprepared for, or any projects or any presentations that I had to do. But no matter what, I had to get the work done, and I was really happy about that because it didn't just push me to that level of like, oh, I can't do this because I need to prioritize like this presentation. If I am capable of making an organization of my time, of what I have to do with the family or with the job, honestly, is just prioritizing my time and making sure that I can also work on my goal for being an elite catcher. So balancing the both was a little difficult, but with your structuring of the drills and with the time that you wanted me to work on, either on blocking, receiving, or transferring, it was very doable. Very doable.
Dude, I mean, looking at where you were before in your career working with me, then getting into the program, then finishing going through the 6 months, and now you're done. Like, what's your feelings with now you hitting all those goals that you wanted to?
Very happy, honestly, especially like knowing that if I can balance how heavy academically I like for my schedule for school and doing this kind of training, it's preparing me for college. It's preparing for me to be a mechanical engineer to work as either on those math or physics classes as I'm also playing college baseball. I'm very happy that I could do it and also being at the level of like catching high level pitchers or in serious games where if they need me, you can put me in and I'll be ready to play.
Awesome, dude. I mean, congrats, bro. That's amazing. Because you're talking about all the hard work you put in, all that sweat equity, and like how it's not easy, but like at the end of the day, now that it's over, you got what you wanted. And I'm so proud of you, man. So awesome. Like, praise God for that. That's amazing, dude. That's amazing. Yeah. Okay. I want to speak to someone who's made it this far. They're still watching this and they're still curious about, like, okay, this program, they've talked about the program. What does it mean? Like, just real quick, like, who is this program for? What type of catcher do you think would get the best result?
If you're a catcher who is willing to put in the work, who is not gonna be like, "Oh, I'm just gonna skip that day just because I'm, like, sick or, like, I have to go do something." I mean, like, if you don't wanna be an elite catcher, don't do this. Like, if you wanna get better, if you wanna play college baseball, if you wanna make the varsity team, or if you wanna make the JV team, you have to put in that time. You have to put in that prioritization, even at at the house with school, with, like, meals, jobs. So, I really recommend that if you wanna be a good catcher or you wanna be an elite catcher, do this programming. So, yeah.
The flip side, who's this not for? Just real quick.
Catchers who are lazy or players who are lazy, who don't wanna put in the work, who are afraid of fear of not, like, getting the fear of the pain that you would need to go through, of the discipline that you need to go through instead of the pain of regret. Those are the players or who are won't succeed in this kind of programming. Players who don't wanna willingly put in the work.
For anyone watching this, if you struggle with accountability, you struggle with work ethic, you're pretty lazy, this is not the program for you. And I want to make that very clear right now. I can help you if you are a hardworking player with a goal you want to see come true that is, a high level goal that you're willing to work towards. If you need to be motivated every single day, like, this is not the program for you. So I just like to make that clear because the dude like Alessandro had no excuses, he got his stuff done and has a busier schedule than you do more than likely, and that's why he's going to see his dreams and goals come true. So those are the guys I like to work with, just like you, man. One of the kind of last sections I wanted to get into is you're in Wisconsin, I'm in Colorado. We work together for 6 months, completely remote. Remote training gets a pretty interesting reputation. A lot of people don't know a lot about it. So I kind of wanted to talk about what were your beliefs about online training before working with me?
Beforehand, I found it a little strange, especially with online school a couple years ago with COVID and stuff, and it was kind of rough with just the communications and the classwork. But when we called the first time, I was really surprised in how structured you were and how different programs that you had to help me and the amount of resources that you gave me. And that changed my perspective of online coaching. And I was really happy that I got to introduce to you and to your programming. And with the drills that you gave too, I was really happy with it.
Appreciate that. Yeah, that's awesome. Because did you say that you did in-person training before me or nothing like that?
I did do a lot of in-person training and it was pretty expensive and not a lot of time to work with these specific coaches. I know GRB was very helpful. They were very helpful. I'm not discrediting them. They were very helpful, but it was mainly the drills and practices that I had to do on my own. But a guidance, a kind of a coach to help me on the outside to prepare myself for practices, for team practices, or stuff that I needed to work on my own to make sure that I'm making sure that my job is doing well as a catcher.
Yeah, 100%, bro. Exactly right. So, like, just real quick, from someone who's done in-person training and remote, which one do you like better?
I sometimes question this with your programming. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. Now, if I had the chance to work with you in person and do this kind of training, it would be a little different in aspects of like feedback because I know it's pretty like it's instant, but this is just another way in form to adjust to any kind of programming that you want or anything. If you're an athlete, you know you have to like adjust to certain things. So I was really happy that I got to meet you, Brock.
I appreciate that. Yeah, it's awesome. I mean, dude, without a doubt, the best training structure is if you could go see an in-person coach every single day.
Yeah, but nobody can really do that right now unless
No
if
one. Literally
doing
no
this.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, they charge about 100 to $120 for 1 hour of their time. So if you were to see them every day in the week, you're paying like 700 bucks a week.
It's bad.
That's why yes, it's through a screen, whatever. But the biggest thing, and hopefully you got to see the benefit of this, is like just having the answers to your problems through a catching coach every single day. It's like pretty much a big thing with the structure and evaluation. And, you saw the value in that. And that's so awesome, bro. And I appreciate that. So, what would you say to someone on the fence right now, like a player who's watched this far and they're still like, I don't know.
If you wanna be a good catcher, you should do this, honestly. Like, that's the only thing I could say, like, if you wanna be a good athletic athlete who wants to play baseball, try this programming, and especially on the catching perspective, do this programming.
Dude, yes, I agree. I mean, I'm fully confident in what we do here. That's the reason why I'm so big on taking time to do an interview to get my player's point of view. And I appreciate all the positive feedback, dude. And I really, really enjoyed the relationship you and I were able to make, dude. And I can't wait to watch you going forward in your career and be in your corner for whatever, happens, throughout college, things like that. Even if you play longer than that, that's amazing, bro. So I just think you're a great kid and it was amazing working with you. So that's kind of one of my last questions of like, what do you kind of feel like the relationship you and I were able to make, even though we're not even in the same state and just working through this program?
I got to build another coach, another person who also loves baseball and being a catcher as well. I felt like that we built a great relationship, especially with God and with Jesus, and I felt very guided.
Amen, bro. I appreciate that. When you look back on Backstop Built and the impact it was able to have on your career, like what's just some things that pop into your mind?
I liked how um like informative you were with the emails and with any like kind of like issues that we had like electronically with the apps or anything. But overall, it was pretty good. I liked how the workouts were displayed. I liked how you sent them. I liked the accessing certain programs with blocking or receiving or transferring.
That is all the questions I have. I feel like this is going to speak to someone who feels like maybe they're too busy, maybe they can't go play college baseball because they're striving for a really specific degree, and it's hard to make that happen. But dude, you're proof, and I'm so proud of you. I can't wait to see what you do at the college level. And last thing is just, is there anything else you want to say that you feel like maybe we missed about working with me one on one, or just the relationship we're able to build, or just anything you want to say to anyone who's made it this far and still watching?
I mean, like, if you want to be a catcher again, if you want to be a good one, do this program, and it's really worth it. It's really worth the time and effort and the sweat and hard work. So I really recommend doing this program.
Man, thank you so much. And I just want you to know that I am so proud of you and that we should take a moment and praise God for all the blessings you have and the hard work you put in. I'm very blessed that God brought you into the program and we had that relationship. Going forward, I always want to keep in touch with you and where you go, man. And every single player I work with teaches me something as a coach. I know that sounds crazy, but like you definitely are a guy that is like, okay, I have a new point of view of players who are very serious about school and need to work in baseball because it's not easy, it's hard. So you did it, dude. I'm so proud of you. And again, like, just thank you for taking a chance and investing in this time, money, effort, all that. So thank you, bro. I really appreciate you.
Thank you, bro. Thank you for your help.
Absolutely. Well, there you have it, guys. That is Alessandro in his story. Someone who is a brainiac, someone who is a backstop, and someone who is now going to play at the next level and enjoy actually working on his degree for the career he wants to have after baseball, which is super, super awesome, but also takes baseball very serious. Now, the best way that you can get started or you can get your questions answered about what I do, how I could work with you, is there is a link in the description below where you can go book a free one-on-one catcher evaluation call. This is how Alessandro and I got set up. Him and his mom were on the call, just a free Zoom call. We'll go over where you are now and all your catching categories, what you're looking for. And if we determine that you are the right player to work with us and we can help you, we'll show you exactly how to move forward. But again, go ahead, schedule a call with you and your parents. There'll be a booking link there. And don't forget to like this video. Please subscribe to the channel as well so you don't miss another testimony or interview of a player who you might connect with. And also free value of a lot of the trainings I do for catchers. But without further ado, man, thank you so much. Like, I really do appreciate you. And I'm just so proud of you, man. And I'm so glad we were able to get your story out there.
Thank you, Brock.